Sometimes art is prophetic, and sometimes I don't know how to offset it. The words too authentic to constantly do what I do and augment it. Y'all talk a big game, can't tell if y'all meant it. As seconds turns to minutes, the ticking will tell all. Will you hold firm or steadily fall? Will you conform with the ways of the world, or will you give the world everything that you are? Make them fuckers move around you, kinda like sound do. Break out of everything that they had you bound to. You got knocked down, ho, get ready for round two. It's round two. Get ready for round two. Come back, run rap, run laps around these cats, jump back, kiss myself, still keeping me intact. Weird and black, they for that, hold up, steer it back. Weird and black, they revere that, yup, you hear that?
Turnstile, switch it up. Young nigga raised hard, he learned not to give a fuck. Young nigga came far, still never give enough. Coming with the flavor, delicious, so she lick it up. Bust down, stick it up, I put it down, so pick it up. Scud town, saviors, done some till he shift to musk. Stench so stank that the shit compares soft to us. Crud so dank, make your face smell to dripping, cuz club go shake when the bass gets to hitting ya. They ain't really hearing us, but they gon' feel something when the way is paved clear enough. I don't fear nothing but the fate is God real or not. Well, fuck it, got the world in my hands, and that's real enough. Fuck it, got the world in my hands, gold forms to touch. Might just spend it all one time to give it all to us. Yeah, give it all to us.
Yeah. This that hip-hop body rock, hardcore karate chop, neo-Nazi nasty, not feel it in my chest. How could you wear that name? Must be automatic shame. He's an automatic lame, heard it from the best. Fresh flow, let's go, plus I got a lot of heart. It's necessary when you dabble in this art. Grab canvas, paint picture, use them acrylics, paint a picture so vivid, the people gotta feel it like the Kaaba. Lyrics bear fruit like guava, words spilling out of my brain like lava. Spills out the top of a volcano, and they know that A-Right is not the one to play no. I'm Kano in Mortal Kombat, cause the lyrics like blades. Aim it at your juggler when I'm on stage. Until you heard me spit, homie, you ain't heard rage. On another chapter, so turn a turn. Okay, got that out my system. A-Right on another planet, dog, you must have missed them. When I do it how I do, it's of my own volition. Go make my destination even in the worst condition. I cruise the Blues Brothers, cause you know we on a mission. Eternity of roses, I make bumping in your system. I mean, banging it, and I'm still hanging it. And I got a gang of wisdom, I got a gang of rhythms, I got a lot of soul. I found the pot of gold, I'm wrapping that shit up, gon' sell it to the globe. I got some game to give them, they don't really want, but they really need it. And I want you to succeed, I want you to be free. I want you to remove every obstacle from being what you truly wanna be. I truly wanna see, and I can only lead by example. So here's a sample from me, so get up.
He's the one drinking beer. I'm drinking water.
3 touchdowns a game?
Yes, in the game.
You're tripping.
How you high? No,
Greatest
high
Super Bowl
expectations.
I don't know what we're doing in the front office, man. Twiddling our fucking dick.
Ryan, I just need you to drink this.
Wide receiver trivia. That's what she said.
Her upset.
Are those crutches?
You can see Ryan's crutches. What is going on, folks? Welcome back to After Further Review. This is episode 173. I am your co-host, Jalen Brown.
And I'm your other co-host, Mahlon Dennis. And I'm your other great co-host, Nestor.
And our special first half guests this week. We've got, of course, Mr. Junebug Spade. What's going on, June?
Back.
What up? What's up?
Good to have him back. And for the first time, we've got Keeping It Real. What's going on, my man?
What's going on, everybody? Hope you guys are doing well.
I gotta say, I love the handle, Keeping It Real, because I love the special with Dave Chappelle when Keeping It Real goes wrong. I kind of feel like that's what happened in that Kansas City Chiefs Ravens game. We'll get into that.
Oh boy.
Here we go. This is gonna be all night.
June, be nice to me.
I'm being nice. I'm being nice. I'm just glad it's not me for once. You know?
What did I do?
Being that it's Keeping It Real's first time on the show, would you like to just take a quick second to introduce yourself, tell the fans or tell the people at home who you're a fan of?
Great timing for this, but what's going on, everybody? It's Keeping It Real here. I am a Baltimore Ravens fan, so today's discussion is going to be very interesting. I'm not going to say emotional, but interesting. I've gotten over it, but we do got some things to talk about. And yeah, I just do my stuff here with Ravens YouTube, and it's been cool so far. Glad to be on the show.
Great. Yeah, we highly appreciate you taking the time out of your evening to join us hooligans here for a little while. So, yeah, the way we usually start the show is by taking a little cheers. We take a shot. So we're going to do that.
Have fun, Nestor.
Nestor
my
physically
red Solo.
cannot lift his.
You see my red Solo shot cup?
There
Maybe
Yeah,
we gotta
what do you
just-
have in that cup there, June?
Yeah, you can tell
shot
that
right here.
June was on a cruise ship not that long ago when he got the little shot solo cups.
Hey, let me tell
Still
you.
living that carnival life.
He had 3 bottles of Crown for $60 on the cruise ship.
For total.
Listen, I love the price you pay for alcohol on a cruise ship. That duty free business they do. Oh, it's great.
I was not aware of this.
You don't pay
I've never
no
been on a
taxes.
cruise.
And it's like it's basically like you get like the same type of price you would pay for it like on a military base, but you also don't pay taxes.
Okay.
Like so it's super cheap. And like there's bigger bottles you've ever seen in your life. But they hold it for you. They don't let you open it while you're on the cruise ship.
Oh, so it's okay.
You gotta bring it out. So you're going through customs and you're like, I'm not an alcoholic, but I'm kind of a little bit.
Hey, let me tell
A
you.
lot of fun.
Hey,
I see.
me, my wife, my daughter, and her boyfriend all walking out with 3 big duty boxes of Crown.
Damn
All of
right.
us.
I got
I love it. I love it.
right.
beautiful.
Folks at home, if you don't know, you can watch us live every Wednesday night on YouTube at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Again, that's Wednesday nights. So if you click the first link down in your podcast description, you'll be taken to the YouTube version of the episode. Give the episode a like. Our video just cut out for some strange reason. You guys can still hear us, though.
No, they got tired of my
We
voice.
can hear you, just can't see.
Yeah, we can hear you.
I'll switch to this camera for the time
Yeah.
being.
Oh, okay. It's all about him.
So if you click the first link down in your podcast description, you'll be taken to the YouTube version. Give the episode a like, subscribe to the channel, and yeah, that's all we ask of you to do. And be sure to subscribe to our guest here. Their links are down in the description as well. Keeping It Real. His YouTube channel is down in the description, as well as June's TikTok. So yeah, let's get into the first topic of the week, which is the NFL Conference Championship round between the Ravens and the Chiefs. We'll start there in the AFC. And the question I posed to you guys was, how big of a stain will this leave on Lamar Jackson's resume? With keeping it real, being the resident Ravens fan here, we're gonna start with you, my friend. What do you think? I'm gonna mess with this.
Man, well, what are we, like 2-3 days removed from that game? I'll definitely say Lamar's performance in that game wasn't the best. It did not leave a good imprint on how people view him now. Honestly, for the most part, just seeing how that game was going, there were just moments where he's missed some throws down the field where he could have had. There was some plays where he could have taken off because the Chiefs gave him those looks and he chose to stay in the pocket, just trying to just stay in the pocket, throw the ball. There was some moments there where Lamar made some good plays, especially early on. That touchdown to Zay Flowers really looked like it was going to set the tone early on. But then the minute the strip sack happened, everything just went haywire. And I've always been consistent with the Ravens, just seeing how this new iteration Ravens team is. As soon as a mistake like that happens, the Ravens panic. And for some reason, they can never regain their composure from there. And it seemed like it was just going through and through throughout the team. But for Lamar specifically there were just times down the stretch where he had opportunities to just make plays and he didn't make it. And even though there were things that were happening around him that wasn't his fault, the one aspect that you'll take away where you look at him and say, buddy, what are you doing? That interception into triple coverage is probably one of the biggest aspects people are going to take away from the game. Like Zay Flowers fumbling, people are going to remember that. All the stuff that was happening prior to that pick really wasn't Lamar's fault, other than the fact that there were times where he was hesitant to take off. But the turnovers, the strip sack, Ronnie Stanley missed a block right there. You know, you don't expect to get hit from your blind side if your left tackle's doing his job. And then Zay fumbling the ball right there. That, again, is on Zay. That's not on Lamar. If Zay holds onto the ball, it's a touchdown right there in this 3-point game. So all of that really kind of helped Lamar's case of saying he's not really the one specifically responsible, or there's nothing you can really look at and specifically blame on him. But that pick into triple coverage is just unacceptable. And if we're gonna look at Lamar Jackson in terms of how much of a stain this leaves on his legacy, I would say it can leave a drastic stain on his legacy long term if he never goes on to win a championship. I mean, the guy's 27 years old. He's still relatively young. He's going to have opportunities, though will they be able to capitalize on it? That is the question. But he will have opportunities. If he never goes on to win a Super Bowl, people are going to look back at this year and say this was the best chance for him to get a title, and he just came up short. But if he does, further on down the stretch in his career, get a Super Bowl at some point, then this will just be seen as a short-term moment. One thing's for sure, this is going to be discussed throughout the summer. Even if it wasn't his fault, that pick is not going to be forgotten by anybody. So that's probably one of the toughest aspects. And it definitely leaves a stain in the short term and could leave a stain in the long term, depending on how his career goes down the stretch.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I get what you're saying about that interception because it was not a good interception.
No.
I think once the ball left his hand, I think there was a collective, what the hell are we doing? Like the moment it left it. But in my opinion, Zay Flowers put him in that position.
Yeah.
Like you had the Chiefs scoring 17 points in the first half. They go 0 in the second half.
Right.
Zay Flowers gets that big ball. The moment he stood up and did, I was like, no, I don't even see the flag, but I know there's going to be a flag. They were at the 10 or the 9, and they got backed up 15 yards because of that. And I was like, that's immature crap that shouldn't be happening.
Right.
Especially on a John Harbaugh team. Like you should know. Like you're down 17-7. You need this touchdown, okay? Then I don't even understand why he dove at the goal line the way he did. Just muscle through there and you're getting in. Like What are you avoiding at that point? Now, Kansas City, they did make a great play. But Zay Flowers put Lamar Jackson in a position to where he had to start trying to play magic ball when you're down 17-7. So I get it that he threw that interception in triple coverage. But he's pressing because you're going into the fourth. You're down 17-7.
Yeah.
You need 2 scores.
Right.
You need to make something happen. It would have been 17-14. At the end of the day, they lost by 7 points.
Yeah.
I mean, I just feel like Zay Flowers put Lamar Jackson into position to have to play hero ball. And when you start feeling like all of the weight of the team's success is on your shoulders, that's when you make mistakes.
Right.
And you throw balls in situations that you normally wouldn't.
Right.
Because Lamar Jackson hadn't really done that.
Right.
He's been very smart with the ball most of the year.
Yep.
But I felt like he needed the press
Yeah.
to make something happen.
There is something that the Chiefs defense, specifically the Chiefs defense, does, because you know what that felt like? It felt like Josh Allen, how he will press the ball repeatedly, and he notoriously will do it in these big games, especially against the Chiefs. And that game, Lamar reminded me a lot of Josh Allen and the way he will just keep pressing and pressing and pressing. Yeah. Luckily, he didn't do it repeatedly. It was just that one time.
Yeah, it was one time.
But if you're telling me that the Chiefs are only going to score 17 points in the first half, and they're not going to score any points in the second half, as a Ravens fan, are you not thinking the Ravens are going to win that game?
Right.
You're somehow going to figure it out.
Right.
Like, they didn't score a single point.
Yeah.
That's why I'm glad that I got your defensive coordinator, Mike McDonald.
Yeah, I'm not happy about that either.
I'm very
to
happy
say
about
that.
that.
But
We'll talk about it.
We'll talk about that.
But like, that was the craziest thing, is that 17-10.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like we all felt like the Ravens offense was going to do something at some point.
Yeah.
And that one point they were going to do it, Zay Flowers like, nah, man, let me go ahead and shit the bed here.
Yeah.
Let me go ahead and make 2 big mistakes.
Yeah.
And just fuck it all up.
Oh man, that was hard.
So
to watch.
that was really hard, especially for him. Yeah. And then he cut his hand, didn't he?
Yeah.
He was.
He cut his hand on the sideline, throwing his helmet and punching shit. And I was like, Zay, man, you're not. You're not making
completely unraveled.
Total meltdown in one possession. I think that was the game.
It was.
That one possession was the game.
Yeah.
It was.
He showed his age there for sure.
I wanted the Ravens in this Super Bowl so goddamn bad.
Yeah.
Because I think that they were the only team that's going to beat the 49ers in the Super Bowl.
June, let's hear from you.
So I'm going to give a different twist on this. I don't think it stains. Lamar Jackson is a great quarterback in this time period. In the time period we in of quarterbacks, the quarterbacks that we have started in the league, Lamar Jackson is a top 5 quarterback. I think he's one of the best in the game because Lamar Jackson has that ability to take over a game whenever he wants to. I'm going to give credit to the Chiefs defense for having a game plan.
Hate it.
I sent Jalen a message earlier. What do you think about Spagnolia? Sorry, I got a little cousin named Jaden. I'm sorry. So I sent Jalen the question: does Steve Spagnolia get a job after this? Because he put together in the 3 games in the playoffs, he put together 3 masterful games in the playoffs as a defensive coordinator. He really did. I think there was confusion by the Ravens offense. I think Steve Spagnuolo confused him, and he confused Lamar. And
Ravens shot themselves in the foot.
They did, but
listen. Steve Spatula had nothing to do with Zay Flowers getting that penalty.
Well, up until that point, they weren't scoring the ball either.
Yeah, I mean, the first 3 quarters they weren't doing much, but the pressure was getting to them.
Right.
Yeah, Steve Spagnuolo knew what he was doing.
Yeah,
The
spatula.
guy is
whatever.
the guy is a great defensive
No,
coordinator.
he's not.
I don't know if he's ever going to get a head coaching again
Weak as
because he's
hell.
like 10-41.
We're not doing
But
that.
he is a great.
He should never be a
and
head
he
coach
proved
in the NFL again.
They were able to.
Ever.
I'm not disagreeing with that, but they were able to stop Tua, Josh Allen, and Lamar Jackson. Made them all look pedestrian.
I mean,
Okay, hold on a second. First of all,
they're gonna say,
we're gonna act like the Dolphins.
I knew it.
Were really them.
Yeah.
No, they weren't.
and they were there.
Now we knew.
Can we skip this part?
We knew that Josh Allen should have done some shit. We knew he should have.
Right.
Yeah.
For some reason, I kind of feel like Diggs is kind of like, fuck you, man. Like I don't like you. And
Probably.
Cook
Clown.
and Cook didn't do much. But no, Steve Spatula, it's fine. We all know what is. No, he does not deserve to be a head coach again. And then, just
Yeah,
like Dan,
sometime-
no,
right,
Just
right.
like Dan Quinn does not need to be a head coach in the NFL again. He's a great defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
You are
that
not
last game.
a good defense. You're not a good head coach.
Before we go any further, I do want to hear what Nestor has to say about this game.
I completely agree with June, but more so about the overall team of the Chiefs, because they just managed to have the same mindset going into the game throughout the whole game. They just managed the game so well.
Yeah.
From Mahomes to the coaching, but they do things that the other teams don't. When it comes down to the pivotal moments, they don't make the mistakes that the Dolphins do, that the Ravens do. The closest game was against the Bills, and I'm shocked because the way the Bills had their regular season.
Yeah.
So I give credit there. Like June said, I still think Lamar is a top 5 quarterback,
Okay.
especially looking at the rest of the league.
I understand what you're saying.
Absolutely.
Hold on. If Zay Flowers does not lose his fucking mind and then fumble the football, do the Ravens not probably win this game?
I don't know if they
don't know.
win it,
That's
don't
a
know
good
what
question.
It's 17-10 at the end of the day.
but it's not.
We gotta
the,
think about
That's
this.
a
The Chiefs
touchdown.
weren't being aggressive, though. I think one thing we got to
the
think
Chiefs-
of is that the Chiefs weren't being nearly as aggressive offensively
fan.
because their defense was doing such a great job on Lamar, and to the point where they got them to press that they really didn't need to actually get aggressive on offense. Now, if Zay would have scored, it's a 3-point game.
They couldn't
And you
get
know
aggressive
Mahomes-
on offense in the second half. Mike McDonald, who
That's
is
fair.
my new head coach, thank
True,
God,
he did a great job.
he did a great job in the second half with adjustments. He frustrated the shit out of the Chiefs. They weren't
did.
doing
He did.
anything
He
on
did. He did a
offense.
great job on
There was nothing that you could take away from that second half with the Chiefs offense that makes you think that, oh, yeah, they could just march down the field and get 7 points whenever the fuck they want to. There was nothing happening in the second half that
Right.
made you think that. So Zay
But to be
Flowers just
To be fair, the
Besides-
end of that
just
play, though,
dead
that
butting the
finished the
shit
game.
out of things. Just a wilting fucking flower over here with the. I mean, what do we?
I'm sorry.
a
If
fair
there's
assessment.
time
That's a
left
fair
on the clock
assessment.
with Patrick Mahomes with the ball, I'm not picking against that man. So
You
the thing.
well, that's because you said you were never going
End
to
of the
do
game.
that again.
right, and he's never
Yeah,
proved
yeah.
me wrong.
But he didn't have to do that in this game because of Zay Flowers.
I can't do anything.
He
About
would have been in that position. But the Ravens defense held him in check
They did. Yeah.
in the second half
They
of
did a
that
great
game.
job.
He did
did a
nothing.
fantastic job in the
the
second half.
second half of the game, nothing.
Do you guys think before we move
Like
on?
Taylor
Do you
Swift
think-
slept with Travis Kelsey because of everything he did in the first half, not the second half.
Oh
Do
my
you
God.
think that in the beginning of the game when Travis Kelsey was going at it with all the Ravens defenders, do you think that he got into their heads at all?
Yes,
Absolutely.
definitely.
No,
absolutely.
because the
Absolutely.
second half proved
And I
that
was
they
watching
didn't.
it happen. I was like, I know what
The
he's doing.
second
It's gonna
half,
work.
no, the
I
second
saw.
half proved that he
saw.
didn't do that.
You don't
No,
think
see,
at
here's the
all.
thing. Here's
He
the thing, though.
didn't have
I think he did in
any-
the first half, though.
Right,
I
at
think
least
he
in
did
the first
the
half.
first
In the
half,
first
but
half, because they couldn't make a stop.
nothing in the second half. He had
Right. They
gave
9
their
catches
composure.
for like 95 yards and
Yeah,
a touchdown
it
in
cooled
the first
off.
half.
Right.
Yeah,
cooled
cooled off like an iceberg that sank the Titanic. That's how much he cooled off. That Kansas City offense did nothing in the second half.
Right. Yeah.
Baltimore's offense had all the time in the world to try to make it happen. and they lost
Right.
17-10
When it
because of
comes
Zay
down to it,
Flowers'
though,
weak ass hands.
but I'm gonna
So
tell you,
got
when
to
it comes
fumble the
down to
fucking
it,
ball in the
if,
end
if
zone.
they would have tied the score up, I still think the Chiefs would have pulled that game
No.
out. Even if
No.
they would have tied it up.
I agree with
I'm
you.
not
No.
saying
At the end of the
Patrick
game,
Mahomes-
though.
You have to think at the end of the game, though. That last second where they needed to get a first down to end the
Okay.
game, that
Right, and
pass
they
to
did.
Valdez Scantling,
Right,
when they need to be
right.
aggressive at times.
They
Again, we
did.
can make an argument if Zay scores a touchdown there, they could try to get aggressive, and maybe the Ravens
yeah,
defense
I can't
stops it
believe
because
I'm
they
the
were doing
one.
it throughout the entirety of the second half. But we saw when they needed to make plays down the stretch to put that game on ice, Mahomes dialed it up and guys made plays. A big part of what makes Kansas City successful is they don't hurt themselves in key situations consistently.
Oh, they don't?
They
They-
make the big plays in the right moments.
They didn't do it
So
against the
Zay Flowers
Lions. They
scoring
didn't
that
do it against
touchdown,
3 other teams.
closes up, but who knows what happens afterwards?
Like my
I think you
quarterback-
give Mahomes the ball. Who knows?
Your
My quarterback
is
slips
Edward
and falls
Scissorhands. He has
in
concussion.
game-winning
Shut up, man.
drives. Mahomes
Nobody-
just comes through.
Slips.
Yeah.
So it's,
Right.
All right, let's keep it moving.
You guys feeling the Chiefs a little bit too much.
Let's keep
Oh,
it
no, I
moving.
absolutely believe we should have won that game.
You're
We had
damn right you
ample
should've.
opportunities. We
Flowers.
should have won that game. Offensively, I just didn't like some of the things we did.
Yeah.
It just felt we got rattled early on. And this is something I've been seeing with the Ravens offense when we get to the playoffs. Even though we've changed offensive coordinator, for some reason, when they find themselves down early, they start going away from things that works for them. They start going away from that game plan
Yeah.
and not even attempting it. We're the number one rushing attack in football. And yet consistently in playoff games, we're barely using our backs and running the football. And in that game against Kansas City, 6 carries. We got Dalvin Cook. He didn't even see the field.
That
So, like, we're
doesn't
not even
mean
doing things
that
we
doesn't
should.
mean that Kansas City is great though. 17 points.
No, I'm just saying we ourselves.
Like we're
We literally didn't do things that would have
Wait.
directly affected them.
guys
Because they've
have
got one of
Dalvin
the
Cook.
weakest rush defenses in
He did
football,
say
and we
Dalvin
didn't even
Cook.
exploit that.
he went deep.
Malin.
The game was right there for Baltimore. We didn't
Okay,
take it.
June. What do you got for me?
Malin,
Yes,
you
sir.
keep saying they only scored 17 points. 86, no, 89, 1990 New York Giants
What do we-
kicked 4 field goals and beat the San Francisco 49ers that had the most potent offense in the NFL. You don't need to score touchdowns to win. You just got to have the most points at the end of the game.
Sir, they didn't score a single point in the second half. The Ravens
That's
should
okay.
have been. No, Jalen, don't be wagging the finger.
That's coaching.
But you weren't even. No, outside of June and I, none of you motherfuckers were alive when that game happened. I remember that game happening. Okay, nobody else is alive, so shut up. But the fact that the Ravens had opportunity after opportunity
They had
on offense
opportunities.
because the Chiefs did not score anything in the second half. I don't care about the fourth quarter and they needed to make a play. No, Zay Flowers, he's a bitch and he cost them the game. The Ravens should be in the Super Bowl if it wasn't for Zay Flowers.
All right, we gotta go.
Jalen,
We gotta go. We gotta move on to
you
something
gotta
else.
go.
Oh, you gotta send him some hate mail or something. But
I will.
let's move to
What
the
an
NFC.
asshole costs me in the Ride or Die in 5.
That's what it comes down to.
You're ahead of me now. That
The truth comes out. The truth comes out. Now we know.
good job, Chiefs.
All right,
right.
let's go to the NFC
I'm
Championship
about to
game.
punch his ass.
Or the Niners and the Lions. The Lions fumbling the bag. Listen, I think everybody in our Discord was all rooting for the Lions, like hardcore on Sunday night.
So
but
sad.
they were not listening to our cheers, and they let down the city of Detroit and us. So the big question is, why couldn't the Lions hold on to get to the Super Bowl? Keeping it real, we're of course going to start with you here.
Well, I mean, I think everyone knows who they directly got to look at, and you got to start with your head coach and Dan Campbell.
Damn right.
Here's the thing. Dan Campbell has been very consistent as to who he wants to be and who he has been as the head coach of the Detroit Lions. With that mindset and with his coaching style, he's been able to turn the Detroit Lions around and get them as far as the NFC Championship game. And it felt like they had it in the bag, which honestly they should have. They came out there early on. They pounced on a Niners team that just did not seem prepared early on to go in that game. The Lions were hitting on every single cylinder. All they had to do was maintain the lead. And it came down to two decisions. going for it instead of taking those field goals. Now, Dan Campbell has established himself as the coach that's always going to be aggressive. We're going to go for those 2-point conversions to try to win the game. We're going to go for it on 4th down instead of taking the points. That is the culture he's established with Detroit. But that's a double-edged sword. If it works, you pretty much put yourself in a position to win. But if it doesn't, it costs you. We saw that exact same situation. Though it was controversial, we saw that exact same situation happen in the Cowboys game. He kept going for 2 and going for 2, even after the penalties happened, which led to them losing. In these situations, you take the points. If they take the points, the Niners are not going to win that game. But instead, he chose to go for it and be overly aggressive. He absolutely is the main reason they lost the game. Because if you take the points as a head coach in those situations, you win. Now, if the kicker misses the field goal, the first one it wasn't an easy field goal, but the second one, there's no excuse not to take that one. If you take the points there and the kicker just misses, well, now you look at the kicker and say he didn't do his job. But in those situations, to choose to not take the points when you have the lead and you're trying not to blow the lead against a Niners team that's gaining some steam and coming back, to choose not to take the points in those situations, it ultimately costs your team the game. Now, I don't know how Lions fans feel about it. I don't know if they're pissed off in camp. I'm pretty sure they are because, you know, we had a trip to the Super Bowl already lined up and you made that choice. But that's who he's been since he first came to Detroit, and that's the whole nature and culture he's built there. So it was stupid. I'm still pissed off he did that, but it just seemed like he was going to stick to his style, even if it cost him the game, and it certainly did. So I got to look at Dan Campbell 100%. He's to blame. It was a dumb decision. There's a difference between being overly aggressive and just being idiotic. That was an idiotic decision, and it cost them, but that's who he's been when he's with Detroit. And that's who he's going to continue to be as a coach. And they're going to stand by it.
But you have to be able to know when you need to change your philosophy based on situations. And that's the thing that got Dan Campbell in trouble.
Right.
Because it's not about the points. It's about the possessions.
Yeah.
Because they're up. They couldn't score that touchdown at the end of the first half. So they're up 24 to what? 10?
I think it was 10.
10.
7.
27.
So then the Niners go down there and they score a field goal. Okay. So now it's a 2-possession game.
Yeah.
When the Lions had the opportunity to kick a field goal and make it a 3-possession game again, there was 7:23 left in the third quarter. You had like 22 minutes left in the game, and you had an opportunity to make it a 3-possession game again. It's not about points. It's about possessions.
Yeah.
How many possessions do you have at the end of the game? Now, can we anticipate that a Lions defender is going to have a ball bounce off of his face mask and Brandon Ayuk is going to catch it? No. Can we then anticipate that the Lions are going to fumble the football on the very next possession and allow them to...
Yeah.
You can't plan for that.
Right.
There's no way that Dan Campbell at 4th and 2 at the 28 with 7:23 left knows that, well, Brandon Ayuk is going to make this dumbass fucking catch, and then we're going to fumble the ball again. Like, his offense has still been rolling. Now, he was 73%, okay, on 4th down conversions this year, which is wild.
Yeah.
How do you have 73%? But at the end of the day, you need to be able to read the room and understand the possession game. If you're going through midway through the third quarter and you have the opportunity to put the Niners behind the 8 ball the same amount of points they were going into the half, that's damn near a game breaker. Yeah. Because it's once again, you've wasted over a half of football and you're still down 3 possessions. Yeah. So I do think that was a miscue. Yeah. But then they started reaching once the Niners tied it up.
Right.
And they did it again. Yeah. And I'm angry about it. I'm
Nestor,
upset.
I'm going to go to you next on this one.
Yeah, like I was mentioning earlier, this is the complete opposite of what the Chiefs do. From coaching to defense, offense, you're seeing a complete breakdown of the team when in the pivotal moments. Right. Because I think June would agree. He doesn't like that Detroit defense. Besides Hutchinson, everybody else, it's like maybe one or two guys. They're just, not very clutch. So
just some guys out there.
Yeah. So, and then when we saw it with the offense, I mean, I think they'll be better next year. Maybe they'll learn from their mistakes because now they have Jameer Gibbs and that whole, revelation of having him. But they're not a championship type team, and I'm not surprised this happened at all because we've been talking about that defense for a while. Besides Hutchinson, everybody else. Very suspect. So
how are they not a championship type team?
They are. They showed that they're not. They're not.
They
close.
were.
They're
not close. They're 1 quarter away from going to the Super Bowl.
I think they were bound to collapse like this. This is not surprising at all.
Right,
Jimmy.
I want to remind you that you're a Dolphins fan.
I was sort of surprised, but I wasn't too surprised. Only because of their head coach. But
once they were up 24-7, everyone had to be shocked that they didn't win the game.
Right? Yeah, I was surprised, but I wasn't flabbergasted.
You had to bring out.
You know who was flabbergasted?
That's the whitest thing you've
86-year-old.
ever said in your life. I've never heard you say flabbergasted.
I'll probably never use it again.
I hope you don't.
June, go ahead.
Well, I just want to say this. Dan Campbell and keeping it real, hit it right on the head. And he showed that you can, when you overcoach in a game, and that's exactly what it is. It's overcoaching. This is a championship game. This isn't a regular season game and you're 8-1. This is a championship game. And you're putting Jared Goff, first of all, was talking about your quarterback, Jared Goff. Okay? You're putting a lot of pressure on the guy who, in clutch situations, is not that guy, first of all. And you putting it on a defense that, like Nestor said, is not that good. So you're putting a lot of pressure on them. And he's done it twice so far. And he's done it in major spots twice. And it's backfired twice on them. And at some point, his coaches have got to sit down with him and say, hey, man, we got to think about this. Because you wasn't playing the Vikings, the Bears, or the Packers. You're playing a team that also has aspirations of going to the Super Bowl. And let me tell you something. San Francisco when they saw an opening, they kicked that door in.
Yeah.
Their coaches said, this is our chance. And they took it. Yeah, they can't anticipate those passes, the great catch by Ayuk and the fumble. They can't predict that. But he could have made it a lot harder for them. If you kick that field goal, and I hope Mahlon agrees with this, now you're going to put pressure on Brock Purdy to have to press, like Lamar Jackson had to start pressing.
And he didn't play a good game.
Right.
And he did not have a good first. He was terrible in the
average.
first half. Man couldn't hit the side of a barn in the first half. It was all Christian McCaffrey keeping him in that game.
I don't know why we gotta say barn with white boys, but
But
because he's from
Dan
Iowa
Campbell,
State.
Oh God. Dan Campbell did not recognize his team, and he put too much pressure on his quarterback and his defense. And you guys are right, 100% on Dan Campbell. This is his fault. And you talk about a stain on the legacy. This is the stain on the legacy that if the Detroit Lions next year don't make the playoffs, and then for the next 20 years they become the Lions again, we're gonna look at Dan Campbell and say, "See what you did, Matt Millen."
But what do you guys think? But what do you guys think about Dan Campbell telling the team in the locker room, "This was the best shot we had"? Said this might be the best shot we have making the Super Bowl.
I think he was very realistic.
But he's keeping everybody. Everybody's staying.
Yeah.
I mean, I was just like, damn, Dan. Like, shit. Way to talk the team up going into off-season workouts and free agency.
Good luck.
This was the one chance we had of going to a Super Bowl. It doesn't matter what the fuck we do in the off-season or the draft. When you guys come for OTAs, we ain't going back to the NFC Championship game.
He's already got his Cancun
Like, god damn.
trip planned
That's
for next January 2025. His Cancun trip is already planned. All right. Let's hop into the news for the week.
God, we still got the news.
Yeah, we've got a bit of news to get into, so let's keep it moving here, folks. We're going to start off with a bunch of coaching moves in the NFL. So we're going to start off with the Falcons hiring Raheem Morris as their new head coach. They interviewed the great Bill Belichick, decided he was not the wave, and they went ahead and said, Raheem Morris, come on in. And correct me if I'm wrong, but he was the interim coach when Dan Quinn was there, after Dan Quinn left.
Yeah.
But more recently, the defensive coordinator of the Rams. So,
Yeah.
what do you guys think of Morris landing in Atlanta?
You want me to start?
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead, June.
Okay, Raheem Morris is a good coach. I think getting a second chance at going, I believe that I believe he's going to have a better head on his shoulder than Arthur Smith did. I think he'll know to use his weapons.
That right.
I think he'll know to use Bijan Robinson. The guy is a top running back. He can run the ball. I think he'll know to use Kyle Pitts in situations. I hope so. I hope he will. But I think it's a good fit for the Falcons. He's not in a tough division. And that's the good thing for him. He's not going to the best division in football. It's a winnable division.
Yeah.
I mean, Tampa Bay's won the last 3 years, but they've only won, they had Tom Brady those 2 years, and Tom Brady, won the division, and now they come back and they win the division again, but they still wasn't. I mean, they only won 9 games. That division is weak. It's a weak division. So I think Raheem Morris can go in with a positive outlook with this team. And I actually had Atlanta winning that division last year because I looked at the talent on that team. And I said, wow, that's a pretty decent roster to win that division. Not to do anything else, but to win that division. So I think he's going into a great situation for him, and I think he can turn that team around.
I'll just really quick. They'll be better than they were last year just by default, but just by slightly. Maybe they win 2 more games next year.
I'll say the same thing. They'll be better than last year,
They will
but
not.
they won't win the division.
Raheem Morris has 2 working eyes. They'll be better than they were last year.
Yeah, and his winning percentage is 35% as an NFL head coach.
Always Arthur Smith's.
That's I don't give a damn what his was,
15.
but is 35%? That's what we're doing?
I bet you Arthur Smith is like 31 or something.
35% is what we're hanging our hat on with this guy. Like, this is what we're doing with Raheem Morris. You guys live in Tampa. You saw what he did with the Buccaneers.
Yes.
There was talent on that squad. They didn't win shit
Right.
when they was with him. And even when he took over after Dan Quinn, they went 4-7.
Right, they were not very good either.
There wasn't even any fans in the fucking stands, and he went 4-7.
But
With Matt Ryan, a former MVP, Julio Jones, and all these people.
yeah.
But he's going to be better now.
I think I would like to think so, yeah.
They passed up on Bill Belichick that has won 6 Super Bowls.
And Mike
For
Vrabel.
Raheem Morris. Can we talk about this for 1 second? You're sitting there with 2 people side by side. Bill Belichick and Raheem Morris. And you chose Raheem Morris. What? I rest my case.
I don't understand that part.
2 interviews Bill Belichick
Right,
had.
yeah, he had multiple interviews.
Yep.
And they went with Raheem Morris.
I think it just goes to show just how misled the Falcons front office is because.
And I don't think they need another. No, I wouldn't say defensive minded because it's not like he has a big rep. But
Raheem Morris
they need
is
more of
defensive-minded
they
coach.
need more of an offensive minded coach.
But
Right,
he's not
they need a-
offensive minded.
Right. They shouldn't,
I
to
know
be
he's
honest. Right. They shouldn't have went with either one of those
You have
guys.
the greatest head coach of all time,
Right.
and then a 35% winning percentage head coach,
Yeah, it just.
and you went with Raheem Morris. Do you want to win?
I think the fact that they went with either one of these guys was like, you should probably go in a different direction. But if those were your last two choices, you probably should have gone with Belichick.
That means, like, literally, this is what this means. The GM has a small dick. Like, that's what that means. Because he could not put up with a Bill Belichick in the building.
Right.
But he was like, nah, man, I got to keep my small package with Raheem Morris at 35 winning percentage.
What could you lose besides
A lot.
nothing?
Apparently.
Just hire Belichick.
A lot.
Maybe win the division at least.
Right. You would think
Exactly.
so.
But they did what they did,
Yeah, they did it. They did it.
G Money in the chat says Belichick hasn't done anything after Brady, and he probably wanted more control and money than Atlanta was willing to give.
But Raheem Morris didn't do anything with anybody.
Right. He's probably cheaper.
Belichick. Hey, don't forget about Belichick's record at Cleveland. So he's not.
It
he
wasn't
the
that
best.
bad of a record.
I don't know about that.
Oh, okay.
Mahlon's got his shield out for everybody.
He's
Today.
about to check us.
Hold on.
All right, while you're looking that up, I'm gonna get
Yep.
to the next one.
Go ahead.
The Seahawks hire Mike McDonald as their new head coach. We obviously referenced this about a dozen times already. Keeping it real, let's start with you. How do you feel losing your DC?
I'd like to say congrats to Seattle Seahawks.
Damn
You
right.
got a hell of a coach.
Yes.
This guy is going to do a lot of great things for you guys. First of all, your defense is going to massively improve. Now, we haven't seen him in this position as a head coach, so I'm
Getting
interested in
hard on right
seeing
now.
how he's going to do. But
Just
this is
chubby.
going to improve your defense
Yes.
massively because he will have
Preach.
control over that. You guys are going to be better defensively, which is exactly something that will definitely benefit the Seahawks. But in terms of the Ravens losing him, oh man, I've seen so many reactions from Ravens fans. They are pissed because many of us wanted the Ravens to kind of move on from John Harbaugh and move towards
Really?
Mike McDonald. Yes.
Really?
See, here's the thing.
Wow.
Many
that's
of us
odd.
understand watching what Mike McDonald did with this defense. Many of us understood this guy is way too good to just remain as a defensive coordinator. He's way too good. This guy's 36-year-old, so he's young.
like
He's
this
way
guy.
too damn good at what he's doing. He just put together one of the greatest defenses we've seen in the modern era. People were saying the last time we seen the defense this great and this well coached was the Legion of Boom. So having a guy put this, they had the triple crown. Number one scoring defense, led the league in takeaways and sacks. That's what his defense did. A guy of this caliber, he's not going to remain a defensive coordinator. To do that in 2 years, he's not going to remain a defensive coordinator. And John's been here for 17 years. And many of us believe in Baltimore, the philosophy needs to change. After 17 years of the same guy there, and the fact that we've had 2 playoff wins in a decade of football in Baltimore. We have not done much since the Super Bowl back in 2012. Many of us felt, because this is a guy that was originally with us, went to Michigan and played under John's brother Jim, and then comes back to us, and he'd worked through his process of getting to this point. Many of us thought, okay, the next process should be making him potentially be the successor from John Harbaugh. We move on from John, McDonald should be the next one. That's what many of us wanted to be the case. But unfortunately, that is not the case. And of course, I wouldn't expect McDonald to wait. I don't even know if the Ravens have any sort of plans. I doubt they're going to move on from Harbaugh. They seem complacent and content with what they have there. And we'll see how that works out, the Ravens flock. But yeah, McDonald going to Seattle is just such a great decision for him because he's going to have a lot of great pieces to work with on that defense. And he's going to reshape that team to be a competitor. And as a Ravens fan, all I can do is just give you guys enough praise from stealing him and pretend like we're not dealing with the whole situation we're dealing with, because now our defense is going to take a major step back in terms of scheme wise and game plan. And it may get worse because we got a lot of free agents in our defense. We don't even know who's coming back, so that defense is not going to look the same next year. But yeah, you guys got a great piece, Seattle. You guys enjoy that, and I'm interested to see how he does in the head coaching role. But you got a great guy, and Baltimore lost out on a major person that could have potentially been the guy that leads them to the next era, head coaching wise, of Ravens football. Instead, it's the same philosophy we've been running since '08, and I don't know if that's going to get us to the promised land.
So, I gotta say, I'm 42 years old. No man has ever made my dick hard like he just did with everything he just said.
I knew where that was.
I have.
Jesus Christ. And then
I
get that
am.
bottle away from her.
I am so happy right now. But what it sounds like though is that John Harbaugh is the next Mike Tomlin, is what he feels for his own team, to where they're going to end up with, well, we're going to be a game or two above 500. We're going to go 17 years without a losing record, so we're going to keep them around. Now, from the Seahawks perspective, we've been 30th in the league in defense for 2 years in a row. That is a far cry from the Legion of Boom era. That is bad.
Yeah.
Not good at all.
Right.
The fact that we're going from the oldest coach in the NFL to the youngest coach in the NFL, that's wild. In fact, he's literally half of Pete Carroll's age. He's 36 and Pete Carroll's 72. That's wild. But there is a lot of talent on this defense. I just think they've been misutilized, because I do think Hurts, who was our defensive coordinator, he's a fucking idiot. And he couldn't pull his head out of his ass and know what is north, south, east, or west. Even though he's a big goddamn guy, just plop your fat ass down with a compass and just know where the fuck north is. But he couldn't do anything with this goddamn defense. I hope Jamal Adams retires. I'm sick of his shit. I don't want to pay him any more fucking money. We can't afford to keep blitzing your ass and you hurt yourself and miss tackles, so go fuck yourself. Offensively, the only thing that makes me nervous about Mike McDonald, the only thing. Now, first of all, I think if you shore up defensively, we're a player in the NFC. But he's got to put together a coaching staff late in the game. And you need an offensive identity.
Yeah.
And the only thing that makes me a little bit concerned about having a defensive-minded coach in this day's NFL is that if you get a great offensive identity, someone's going to steal that person to make them their head coach, and you got to recreate it. Right. So that makes me a little bit nervous. But our defense is our Achilles heel. So we need to shore it up, and I think Mike McDonald's going to do it. I love the way that he has held the best offenses in the NFL in check.
Yeah.
We need that in the division where we had the 49ers and Kyle Shanahan.
Right.
I am looking forward to a Mike McDonald, Kyle Shanahan chess match
Right.
next year.
Yeah.
And if we can't beat them, then just fucking nuke them. I don't care. But I think it's going to happen. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So I am glad that he is our head coach. He is 6 years younger than me, which makes me officially an old head. It's the first time in my life that the head coach of my favorite NFL team is younger than me. That is really weird.
Yeah, that is kind of crazy.
Wild.
That's wild.
Do you guys have anything else you want to add on this one?
You know why I'm excited? Because one of the players, defense wise, that I love to watch play is Devon Witherspoon. Guys, just
He's a beast.
he's a beast.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Our
And Woolen,
secondary
like,
is amazing.
I can't wait to see that defense under McDonald. Like, honestly, it's gonna be crazy. So
That's a
I'm
great point.
excited to see them next season. Definitely.
And Woolen was a Pro Bowler and should have been Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Right.
But Sauce Gardner got it, but he should have gotten it.
Not really let
About
that go.
We're never going to let that. The stats were on
I'll
my
say this,
side,
though.
gentlemen.
I'll say this though. there were names on the defense for Baltimore that people didn't know. People didn't know who Brandon Stevens was. People didn't know who Geno Stone was.
I still don't.
This
know
is
who
what Mike
they are.
McDonald did with those guys. You've got some young players there in the secondary.
Yes,
He is going. McDonald knows how to utilize the talent on the defense.
getting harder.
He's going to bring the very best out of those young
Please
guys.
stop.
I love this man.
Nestor, blink twice if you need help.
Keep it real. If you never come back on this show, we totally understand.
I love everything he's saying. He's making so much sense.
It hurts because I know what he can do firsthand. So I'm going to give the man his praise.
Damn right.
Give him his flowers.
Yes. Well, not Zay. I don't want Zay Flowers.
Pun
Oh
fully
God, please
intended.
don't get, please, God, no. God, no.
We can't. We don't have enough time to go back down there. Let's go ahead and move on.
Yeah, let's get into the Eagles.
Who are the Eagles?
Hiring Kellen Moore as their offensive coordinator.
Dumbasses.
Kellen Moore said, "I'm out of here," or maybe Harbaugh said, "Get up out of here." So
I think it was that.
yeah, right. So the Eagles said, "We'll take him," and
Harbaugh is not going to have anybody on his coaching staff that quarterbacked at Boise State. That's not going to happen.
I think the moment that the news came out that Harbaugh was coming, Kellen Moore was packing his bag and selling his place in LA.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
like, damn it.
Yeah, definitely.
Now he's back in the NFC East.
So-
he's like, why do I keep traveling across the country?
So here's the thing, me being a Cowboy fan,
Right.
we're happy about it.
I thought you loved him.
Oh, that's
We're happy about it.
Love it.
Oh, you don't love him?
Because we know what Kellen Moore is going to do. Number one,
Oh.
Kellen Moore is not going to beat you at the end of a game. He can't do it. He cannot do it. So many games over the years the Cowboys lost because of Kellen Moore at the end of the game. And he's not going to help Jalen Hurts develop or continue to. He's going to actually, this is going to be a step back for Jalen Hurts, having this guy on his
Jesus
roster.
Damn.
Jalen Hurts is going to suffer. This is going to be a year where Jalen Hurts might say, you know what, I'm injured halfway through the season.
Oh, he going to pull Lamar Jackson? Last year, Lamar Jackson was
I
like,
don't
nah,
know.
man, fuck this. I ain't coming back. I'm hurt.
Kellen Moore is not an NFL coordinator. He's not. He would be great in college. If this guy went to college, he'd be great. But NFL wise, the game is too fast for him as a coordinator. He's never ready. He just doesn't have it. And you go to a team like Philly, that's already in turmoil. Did you not see how their season ended? And it was the offense that buckled at the end of the season. And you're going to bring this guy in, and he's supposed to fix your offense? This
Am I
is
the-
the downfall. This starts the downfall of the Eagles right here.
Okay, but
They
did
are in
Dallas have 2 double-digit wins seasons with Kellen Moore as offensive coordinator?
Thank
Did they
you,
not?
sir.
It was because of Mike.
And
it was because of Mike
and
McCarthy.
not Mike McCarthy.
And because of
Stop
Mike
it!
McCarthy,
Like
he's
Mike
an offensive
McCarthy's
guy.
eating too many Phillies from Philadelphia to. But what I'm saying is, does Philadelphia not have more talent on offense than Dallas
Right.
right now? Don't
Well,
they?
you can say the same thing about the Chargers.
I was about to say that. Hold on about the Chargers.
But they
Did you
got
see what he did with
hurt.
Justin Herbert?
They're never.
Did you see what he did
do?
with Justin
They
Herbert
got hurt.
when they were healthy? Early
They
on,
were
you
never
could
healthy.
see what he did with Justin
game of
Herbert.
the
Did you
season.
They
see how
were
he made Justin
never
Herbert look?
healthy.
I never saw all their starters in the field at one time.
They
That's
don't
fair.
even know each other. Like Herbert
I
doesn't
don't
even
think
know. He doesn't even know who
Kellen
Eckler
Moore.
is. He doesn't.
Kellen
I'm
Moore
with Malin
cannot
on this
manage the
one.
game.
I think that Kellen Moore's a good answer to what they were lacking.
Because they didn't have anything good last year.
Right. Right.
gotta
right.
be.
They had
And
And the
no.
push push.
They had
had
their
to fill
offensive
it- they had to
identity
brotherly
was
shove.
solely the tush
He
push,
said,
which
brother.
that cannot be your only thing that you do on offense.
But that was from
You know,
the
he's
last
gonna add
offensive
something.
coordinator.
He'll definitely
Right,
add something.
right.
I wouldn't trust him at the end of games, but Kellen Moore's going to add something better than
Yeah,
what they have right now.
once-
So it's technically an improvement.
Yeah, I think it's an
But-
improvement overall. If we get into the nitty gritty of things,
How do we go
that's
technically, though? Like,
that's
what is-
more so on Sirianni.
either
Though.
is
I
or
don't
isn't.
put that onto Kellen Moore.
You're
That's
I think Sirianni's going to get fired in the
Yes,
next few
yeah,
years,
I
to be
agree.
honest.
Well,
with
with
you.
this
Yeah, he's
hiring,
gonna be gone soon.
Well, no, it's because of the ownership,
Well,
not
with this
because
hire.
of Kellen Moore.
right?
Jude is done with this man.
I know I mean, Jude
Every
just wants
time I
to
look up, this man
kill
gets
him.
a jump.
just wants to kill him.
Seriously.
It's like,
Because he reminds
damn,
me of the Garrett era. He's the Garrett era all over
he
again.
wants
Don't go
this
away.
man wants Kellen Moore to go like coach at FAU or something. He just get you in Division 2A, FCS.
I said he would be great as a college
Go
football
coach in the UFL. Go coach in the UFL, Kellen Moore. This man just has a vendetta. Damn.
All right, last coaching hire here for the NFL. It's the funniest one.
This is the greatest one.
I love it. I
Steelers
love it.
hiring Arthur Smith,
Love it.
the Arthur
Love it.
Smith,
Yes.
as the offensive coordinator.
Little Piggy Pickett.
Arthur,
It actually
Helen
might
Keller
be
Smith.
Pedo Rudolph, though, as the quarterback.
right?
You got pedophile Rudolph or Little Piggy Pickett. One of them's quarterbacking this team with a wide receiver named Pickens.
I just don't
gonna be great.
understand what the Steelers saw that said, "Come on in."
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
what we
I love
need.
it.
You had Ritter, Bijan Robinson.
Oh, Najee, did you enjoy your season last year, Najee? You ain't having a season like that this year.
He didn't even have a good year.
He had a good year down the
No,
stretch. When
down
it started
okay,
to use
down
him
the
after they got
stretch.
rid of Matt Canada.
This is-
But now
Right,
you bring a guy
right,
in that
after Matt
doesn't use his
Canada.
talent.
Well, anyone
Matt
with a
Canada
last
was
name
gone.
Canada, we don't like Canadians when it comes to football.
When you guys are drafting anybody in the Steelers, if it came
far
down
away.
to that,
Just stay far away.
away.
The fact that
Yeah,
this
yeah,
man
that's-
was able to find a job in the NFL this quick.
And
They
that's-
were the
that's-
front runners to win the division
Yeah.
with
Yeah,
the talent they had.
Mm-hmm.
There's no reason why Baker Mayfield. We should not have been at a playoff game.
No, not at all.
No.
We shouldn't have been. We shouldn't have been at a
That game
playoff
should not have
game.
existed.
Never
Never
should have
existed.
happened. I'm glad it
Never
did
should
though,
have.
because I had a lot of fun pissing off Eagles fans.
Maybe he has naked pictures of Tomlin or something. That's why he got the job. I don't know.
But no, Arthur Smith he found himself an offensive coordinator position.
Yeah, I think
Good for him.
Like
I
the
did.
real said.
Glad he's going to Pittsburgh.
That is
Najee
Pickens
Harris,
also
man.
prepare you're not doing anything this year.
their fans are gonna have a
Just-
great season next. Yeah, it's gonna be great.
You're not
George
gonna
Pickens
know-
was frustrated last year, huh?
Yeah.
Can't wait to this
You're
year.
not gonna know any of the offensive players.
I just want to let everybody know that when all of a sudden we're dealing with the end of times type of weather and we're getting tsunamis and other things happening, it's because Shaq is going to start headbutting shit by the third week of the NFL season. He has the biggest head
God.
that anybody has ever seen. And so when he throws his head places, you got to throw the earth off its axis, and we're all going to be in
This is
fucking
why
trouble.
Mike Tomlin keeps them in the balance. Because he knows if they win a Super Bowl,
it's all
they-
over.
We're all gonna die.
We're
We're all
done.
gonna die. It's just, and listen, he doesn't know Shaq. You don't know how big this head is, man. It's a
have
big
been,
ass head.
keep him 9.
We have a former friend of the show who was a Steelers fan
Former co-host.
who has a
Biodome.
large forehead.
No, it's not forehead. The whole head.
Large.
It looks like he's wearing a space helmet, but he doesn't actually have a space helmet on. It's the
No,
biggest goddamn thing you've ever
it's
seen in your
crazy.
life.
I don't know what the I don't know what
Just-
the Steelers.
Like if you look at Vegas with that big ass dome they got with the emojis, like his head is bigger than that. Like
Oh God,
it is.
that bot away from.
All we got to do is just paint his head yellow, put some emojis on there. We could have our own Tampa biodome. It'd be great.
All right, let's go into the last bit of news here, which is just the NBA All-Star starters were named. So in the West, we have, of course, LeBron, Durant, Luka, SGA, and the Joker. And then in the East, we have Embiid, Tatum, Halliburton, Dame Lillard, and Giannis.
How did Lillard get in
That
the
was my
All-Star
only
game?
thing.
Thank
How did he get
How?
over Brunson? How did
Yes.
he get over Brunson?
How?
Brunson should have been in
How?
there. Donovan Mitchell could have been
What-
in there. I'd have been happy with that.
I don't even
That
like
was the
I don't
only-
even like SGA being in there because he's from Oklahoma City.
But
I don't like that city.
this is the only thing that kind of drives
15
me
years too
mad
late.
about the fan voting in the All-Star game where the fan vote makes up the majority of the selection.
Lillard.
Yeah.
But who in the
Yeah.
East is like, I love him so much that we're gonna keep
Right.
voting him?
But that's
I just don't understand.
I think some people it's just the name recognition.
Yeah.
But
That's what it comes down to. It's a popularity contest.
Right.
The
we
NBA All Star
we don't
Game
got
is
another
always
guard better in
it's
the
a
East.
popularity contest.
Well, we absolutely do.
You damn, I can probably name like 5 or 6 people that are better than him right
Yeah. Yeah.
in the East.
Tyler Hero.
Shut the fuck up.
No, as a Heat fan, no.
Now,
Terry,
now,
Scary Terry.
Now it's soft.
Scary Terry.
Now it's soft. You ruined it. I had a lot of fun happening.
Thank God.
Now it's
God.
That was the goal.
just, now
Gotta
you
calm
ruined
things
it.
down over here.
God damn it! I was getting all hot and bothered with his Mike McDonald shit.
All right.
Oh, by the way, Belichick was 36-44.
I knew he was
as a
36 and
Brown.
44, but he was 36 and 44 in Cleveland. Who the fuck wins in Cleveland? No one wins in Cleveland.
I know. No, everybody.
He
knows
was.
that.
I got a headache trying to couldn't think of anybody.
Smoke was gonna come out of your ears. All right. We are going to go to a break. June and keeping it real. Are you guys gonna take off here?
Yeah, man.
June's had enough of me. I love you, June.
Folks, if you want to follow June on TikTok, his link is down in the description below.
Yeah,
Just
right.
because his Cowboys are not in the Super Bowl does not mean that man stopped making content. So
No, he's-
Yeah.
That was a nice diss. That was
throw that in there real
clever. That was a
Next year,
good
June. Next
dig.
year.
That was a
It's our
good
year next
dig.
year. It's our year
Listen,
next
we
year.
already know. No, you cannot go to the 4th phase of Cowboys fans by already saying it's your year already. You're
too early for that, man.
skipping. You're skipping several
Right.
steps.
Super Bowl hasn't even happened yet.
Dak Prescott has to win
We'll meet
3
you in the
games in
Super Bowl,
September
June.
before you guys start
meet you there.
really thinking that you guys are going to make it.
Once that,
one-
Giants
one-
before you feel that way.
Yeah, once Dak goes 3-1 in September, that's when they're going to be we them boys.
Hey, Daniel Jones.
That's
next
when
year.
that's happening.
Yeah,
Daniel
Oh, God.
Jones.
Jones.
Don't sleep on DJ.
We sleeping. Everybody
go
taking
on
a
break.
nap. We going night night.
We'll be back in 10 minutes, and we'll have G Money with us on the other side. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back in a bit.
Peace.
Hey,
I love you.
yeah. Hey. On my way to the boat, like I ain't just had on a coat when I landed. Outran it, perched at the edge of the branches. They don't wanna talk mansions, mine look like a campus. And I'm all about my brothers like the niggas I'm sampling. I'll leave you red shirted like the twins from Kansas. Really living my dreams I used to have in my aunt's crib.
As a Boston Celtics fan, I have 2 criticisms of Jason Tatum. I love Jason Tatum. Again, I'm a Celtics fan. However, these are my only real 2 criticisms of the dude. Number 1, he complains to the refs way too much. If he is in the paint and he misses a shot, he's immediately crying to the refs instead of just getting back on defense immediately, which can lead to some fast break points on the other end. It's happened before. It's just too much whining. Like, dude, you're not going to get every call. Just get back on defense. But number 2, and my bigger complaint, way too many jacking up step back threes. It's just his go-to shot. Doesn't matter if it's first quarter or the fourth. It's just like just way too many unwarranted step back threes. And he's so great at driving to the rim and scoring or getting fouled. Like, it's almost a guarantee. He's one of the best finishers in the NBA. So those are my only 2 criticisms.
Him with that roster, Justin Herbert, 3 years. They'll be. I'm not saying they're going to win it, but in
They'll
3
be there.
years they'll be in the Super Bowl.
I agree with that timeline because they have to get a lot of things straightened out.
I just wonder if the organization itself can get out of the way and let this man do his thing. That's going to be important and vital for them. But I do see them in the Super Bowl or getting pretty far.
I think it's going to be about a 36 to 14 game. Tampa didn't play good last week.
I'm going to say it's probably going to be like a 32, 17, 18 game.
It's going to be close. Depends. It's not going to rain anymore. So I'm going to go with we're going to win by 10.
I'll be honest. I think a lot of Eagles fans are nervous right now. I think it's going to be a close game. This is the Julio Jones night. This is the night where we find out what Julio Jones has left in the tank.
You're basically saying Devontae Smith ain't shit.
You know who's going to score tonight? Turn around.
That's
who's going to score. Yeah.
I think it's going to be 21-24 Bucks. Jalen doesn't have A.J. Brown. He's going to throw the ball to Devontae, but
Bucks going to win it 27-23. Baker's going to drive it last minute, score a touchdown, take the lead, win the game.
All right, so he still thinks Baker plays at Oklahoma. Go ahead.
24-21 Birds, and I only think we win by 3 because AJ's out, Devontae's hurt, Jalen's hurt. We run the football, we win by 3. We go destroy the Lions when AJ comes back.
28-17, Eagles all
Did
day.
you know AFR is also on Spotify and Apple Podcasts? Click the first link in the description below to listen to the most recent episode of the show.
He won the chip.
Right. You want to see what his trophy
He whooped my ass. For
look at the unwrapped. Look at this bad boy.
That's tight.
like we got some.
Very nice. A couple of bad drafts, but you know, the waiver wire.
Yeah, man.
You were
He was
clutch.
on it. Yeah.
Like thank Taylor for being friends without him. Let's go for the repeat.
We do a sports podcast. Okay. And I can't help but notice that somebody is wearing an inside-out neck jersey.
You know what? It's just a coincidence.
Explain what is happening right now.
The forecast was for rain. I didn't want the rain to fall on the outside.
That's all it is?
Because I love Dak. He's the best quarterback in the league. Big Mike's the best coach ever. Dallas's D is awesome. Yesterday was just unlucky. We'd won the coin toss. It was a Cowboys win. It was all about the coin toss.
Let's talk defense. You're wearing the Cardinals hat. You don't get a say. Dan Quinn. I don't want him as my coach.
Oh, he's gonna be though.
I don't want him to be.
I heard a stat today. Green Bay has won more playoff games at AT&T Stadium than Dallas. Do you know if that's true?
It probably is.
I heard.
So you still love that?
No. Mike's gotta go. Big Mike's gotta go. Dan Quinn's gotta go. Jerry's gotta rip this shit up.
Who do you want to replace Dak then?
Don't say Russell Wilson.
I was gonna just ask you, would you trade Russell Wilson straight up for Dak?
No!
I wouldn't either now.
You went Browns to Bills?
No, I was a Buffalo fan and a Cleveland fan.
No.
They're in different leagues when I was
So, well, they were all in the AFC. Oh, okay. Fuck the Bucks! Awesome! Thank you! Fucking Eagles! Fuck you!
Hold on, ramparts we watch of the free. We celebrate Dr. Who's legacy.
I hate you so much. Alright, kill with the sniper. There is so much man on man happening right now. Bird!
You're feeling good, man.
I ain't worried, man. I'm gonna tell them the truth.
We not worried. We go score in this drive.
Okay.
Baker Mayfield for game. His name is Baker Mayfield.
Oh,
The nigga got AIDS.
Detroit, if they really want to try and beat the Niners, they're going to have to mix their defense up. They're going to have to play like a mixed zone man and get Brock Purdy to throw the ball where he thinks the receiver is open, but he's actually not. If they just play strict man or strict zone, that ain't going to work. And now on offense, their starting center, their starting left guard are both injured. They're going to try and run the ball. San Francisco's very expensive D-line that has nothing but underperformed the whole season is actually going to step up. And once they shut the run down, it's going to force them to pass. That's when you're actually going to see Bosa and Young get their sacks. What you're going to find out is Goff is who Goff is. It's the same player as he was with the Rams. You start rattling him, he's going to start throwing interceptions. You mean the Niners giving up the 7.
I love Lamar Jackson, and I want the Ravens to win this game, but I'm not picking against the Chiefs. I can't do it. If you think I'm going to come all this way, and at the last second,
Smart man.
I'm going to change my mind or go back on my word, it's not happening. So I will go down with the ship. I'm going to take the Chiefs and the points. However, this is a game I would love to be wrong on because I want to see Lamar Jackson go to a Super Bowl. It feels like it's his year. This team is the best he's had his entire career. I want to see him hoist that trophy, so he's got to win this game. If not, it's going to be a huge disappointment, and it's going to be a stain on his resume for sure. At every stop, he had those choke moments. With the Clippers, just fell apart.
Yeah.
With the Sixers, they fell apart multiple times. I don't see how Milwaukee is able to go with this. I mean, they went from Budenholzer to Real Griffin here, now to Doc Rivers. What are you trying to get to? Because none of these guys seem to have the championship pedigree that you're really looking for. So, hey, good as a Celtics fan.
Remember to follow the show on TikTok and Instagram at @FA Sports. Now back to your favorite show on the internet with your hosts, Jalen, Mahlon, Nestor, and G Money.
Welcome back to the second half of the greatest podcast on the internet. A close call there. I gotta say, that was the smoothest transition we've had out of a halftime in a long time.
In a while.
And it was almost accidental.
Yes.
Like we all just kind of hopped right back on just in time. And we didn't even try. G Money, what's going on?
Jalen, it's another great Wednesday evening here in the PNW. You know, just watching Phoenix and Brooklyn. Brooklyn team is just shit. But, yeah, good to be on the show again.
You know, hey, next week, G Money will be in studio with us.
Yes. Can't
I'm
wait.
looking forward to that.
We got a spot for you right here, G Money.
Yeah, right next
Right
to,
here.
Oh, right there.
We'll put switch spots.
Yeah, it's probably gonna
switch
be over
spots.
Quality libations with me, too.
I don't know exactly what that means, but I love it.
Just think about me with my reactions to my mom. There you go.
I don't want to. Do we want to take a second half cheers?
Yeah, let's go ahead and take a second half cheers. I'm sure the G Money got something going on. What's G Money? If you guys are worried about me,
I'm so crowded.
Hit the desk.
Sorry.
The mic.
How are you crowded? What is
My bladder.
No, if you want to go pee, you can go ahead.
Oh, we're good.
Pee.
We're good.
No, you're just if you pee next to me.
like a dog.
All right. So G Money, what are you sipping on?
I am sipping on Jack Daniel's single malt. which I will be bringing a bottle with me down there
nice.
for the show.
Yes. We're going to drink my brother's bottle on the show. That's what I've determined.
I thought you just made that decision for him.
I did. Even though he's going to host us all for the Super Bowl.
Nice.
It's going to be great.
Cool. Let's get into the second half of the show here, and we will open up with Mahlon's Misery in 5. This is where Mahlon takes a couple minutes to share his thoughts on something that is making him miserable in the world of sports this week.
Yeah, I like how you pointed out world of sports.
Yeah, just figured I'd let everybody know.
It's quite a bit of misery to go around. But here's what I got right now: is that we're only 3 years removed from the Chiefs and the Niners in the Super Bowl.
Right.
So John Harbaugh, Dan Campbell, go fuck yourselves. You had an opportunity to make this a different game. Then we didn't have to go ahead and we'll go ahead and switch out Brock Purdy from Jimmy Garoppolo and we'll just play the same goddamn game we had last time. So I don't know. I'm the most unenthused about this Super Bowl.
Gotcha.
Than I think I've been since 2019.
Okay.
And COVID happened since then.
Right.
And I'm just at a place where I'm like, whatever. Like, I think I'm more excited about the commercials and the food that my brother's going to cook and the beer that we're all going to drink and the liquor we're all going to consume than I am the actual game, because the Chiefs and the Niners, we've done that. We did that.
Yeah.
This isn't the early 90s. We don't need repeats of the Cowboys and the Bills. There's supposed to be parity. Like, what are we doing? So I just think it's going to be one of those, I'm not going to say boring, but I just kind of feel like we've had this narrative before. Already.
Yeah. Right.
And so the narrative side of it is what makes me kind of feel like, we've been there, done that.
Yeah. G Money, what'd you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I guess Andy Reid cements his legacy as one of the greatest coaches in the NFL. I mean, he took the Eagles to 4 NFC championships, 1 Super Bowl. He's taken, my God, the Chiefs to, is this their fourth Super Bowl and 5 AFC championship games? I mean,
6
that says something for him.
Games.
6?
4 Super Bowls.
Yeah, I mean, that's
so wild.
That says something for him.
It's like Patriot-like.
Yeah.
It's boring.
We could be looking at a possible another Tom Brady here with Mahomes.
Please.
I mean, Mahomes is only 28. This is his 4th. He wins this one. He's what, 2-2? I mean,
He'd be 3-1. He's
3-1.
1 Super Bowl.
That's right.
Well, he lost to Tampa, right?
Yeah. So he'd be 3-1 if he wins this one. He'll be 2-2 if he loses it.
So
Nick Wright's credibility hangs in the balance.
Boring wise, I don't know. I mean, everybody was wanting a 49ers Baltimore rematch.
Not me.
So I mean,
I wanted the Baltimore Detroit.
Yeah, Baltimore Detroit would have been fantastic.
You weren't getting that with Dan Campbell. You were not getting that.
I mean, we could have if Dan Campbell wasn't Dan Campbell.
But I mean, I don't find it boring. I think it's going to be kind of interesting. It'll be interesting to see how the Niners handle the Chiefs' defense, which is much improved. And it's interesting because the Niners play better on the road than they do at home.
Wait, wasn't
we'll
Spags the defensive coordinator for the Giants when they beat the Patriots? Wasn't Spags the defensive coordinator?
At one point, yes. At least one of those times. Yeah.
All the Niners are going down.
Yeah, I'll just say that. Wow.
Spags. My guy.
I mean, One of the
Blast from the
over-unders is how
past.
many times they're going to cut to Taylor Swift.
I was just about to say, I think the most
I'm going
interesting
to
part
take a
about
prop
this-
bet on that.
Yes. Is
Yeah,
the
I think we all will.
Swift stuff.
It's just one of those things where
But I
how many times
really,
they're going to cut. And how
I
about
really
this? How many
wanted
times through the
Eminem and Taylor
halftime
Swift though
show?
because they hate each other. I really
Detroit
wanted
isn't there. Oh,
Eminem and
great.
Taylor Swift in opposite suites. How many times could Taylor Swift getting the middle finger from Eminem before she loses it on camera? That would have been awesome. But then we get Usher during the halftime show.
Right, and then we have that blessing of
How can-
Usher.
How can you get such a vanilla option?
Right. I don't know
For the
who
Super Bowl.
who selected that,
Las
but
Vegas.
right in Vegas. I could be wrong with this, but I think he has a newer show in Vegas.
Sure.
Maybe that
Yeah,
has
he was
something
doing
to
a
do with it.
residency at one point there.
Okay.
So
A lot
I
of
mean,
people have
it's
done
easy. He doesn't have to
residency.
travel.
Right. He's got that.
Do you guys
going.
know what the cheapest ticket is for the Super Bowl right now? It's $8,700 in the nosebleeds.
Oh, it went up to 8,700.
Yeah,
it was
it
6,900.
was 69, but I heard today $8,700
Good God.
for the nosebleeds, and the most expensive ticket right now is 4 rows up, 35-yard line, 49er bench, $63,000.
Good God.
Well,
What?
I guess in that respect, then Mahlon, we're lucky that the Seahawks didn't make it because
That'd be a lot of money.
on the craps table.
That'd be a lot of money. I would find a way to get in there. I might not be proud of the way I find myself in there, but I'd find a way to get in there. There might be some things that happen I never talk about, but I would make it to that game if they were in Las Vegas.
Well. All right, let's go into the
Nestor's about to piss himself. Look at his face. It's about to.
Let's go into the Ride or Die in 5 for
we
the
have
week.
to? We don't have to.
Yes, we do. So this is kind of like a preview for what's to come because we're all NBA picks this week. Now that the NFL season is coming to an end, so next week will be our Super Bowl episode. So it'll be all Super Bowl like prop picks and of course the spread.
Are we going to be in studio next week?
Yeah, I gotta talk to you guys after the episode. Okay. It's a long story, but anyway, yeah. So this week it's just 5 NBA games, but to go into last week,
Yeah, let's do it.
this is how we all fared.
Yeah.
G Money and Mahlon went 3-2. I don't know what G Smooth went. I forgot to even check, but
Who?
G.
G Smooth,
Oh.
man.
Yeah. He's my friend.
Damn. Pay attention.
Trying. Really hard.
Anyway, Nestor went 4-1, and then I went 5-0 last week.
Go fuck yourself.
Had an outstanding week.
Yeah, you
I was ready for one of those.
That's great.
So with that, I overtook Mahlon.
Yeah.
Leapfrog to the front of the line.
Yeah. I don't know who's fucking me harder, you or my wife right now.
Okay. So starting from the top here, I am 250 and 196.
This is terrible.
Plus 54. Mahlon is 227.
This is
and
the 2.5 year
176.
reign that I was at number one. 2.5 years.
Plus 51.
God.
Nestor's 129 and 107. He's plus 22.
You suck.
G Money is 152 and 132. He is plus 20.
I love you, Jim Money.
And for those that are brand new and don't understand, this is where we give you the 5 best betting picks in sports for the next week.
And I was number one for 2.5 years.
Right, for a very, very long time. So,
I don't like being number 2.
well, the good news is you're only 3 games down. So, this week you could change.
I was 1 game up.
You were just a week ago.
I was plus
That's how it
18
happens.
before week 1 of the NFL season. Plus 18.
Yeah, that's.
I'm negative 21 to you, and the NFL season is not even over.
The NFL did not do you right.
No, it didn't.
Well, here we go. All NBA.
I was
picks
worse
here.
than Arthur Smith.
Yes,
It's terrible.
So we're going to start Saturday night, 8:30. Lakers at Knicks. G Money. We're going to start with you. Who do you like here?
We'll go with the Knicks. This would be, if I'm not mistaken, the third game on the road for the Lakers. At some point, they're going to rest LeBron. AD has an ankle injury. You know, whether he's going to play or not. They may just rest both of them.
Shocking.
I'm just not. And in all honesty, the Lakers, for the most part, are an old team. And, you know, us old people, you know, we can do occasionally back-to-backs. You know, but you want to play 3 games on the road, the third game of a 5-game road trip. It's like, nah, man. I'm gonna take this one off. And aside from it, they figure it's the Knicks. The Knicks aren't that good. Yeah. But no, give me the Lakers. Give me the Knicks in the money line. Because one thing I've learned about the NBA is points suck.
I'm gonna go next, and we're just gonna go around this way and end with keeping it real. I'm also gonna take the Knicks here. Just generally speaking, they are the better team, so they should beat the Lakers. Even if the Lakers play everybody, the Knicks are a better team. So I'm gonna take the Knicks here. The Lakers are in a really rough spot right now, so yeah. Mahlon, go ahead.
I'm taking the Knicks, which means I don't get to gain any ground on you.
Not yet.
Sucks.
Or you could take the Lakers.
I could. I could if I like taking trains, but I don't. So we're going to take the Knicks and go ahead, Nestor.
I'm going to take the Knicks. Yeah, the Lakers look tired after that Warriors game. So they're still losing games away. So I'm going to take the Knicks, just like Jalen said, the better team at the moment.
I love the fact that Dame is an NBA All-Star starter, and he's tied with his whole club. And I can't name one person that plays for Portland right now. I love all of it.
Go ahead, keep it real.
Yeah, I mean the Knicks. There's nothing really to see from the Lakers. AD's injured. They haven't been playing great basketball. They've kind of been very bad in the road in some cases, and I like what I see from the Knicks defense. So yeah, it's easy pick here, Knicks.
All right. Moving on, also 8:30 on Saturday night, we have the Bucks going to the Mavs. I'm going to start this one, and I am going to take...
No, you're not.
I'm going to take the Dallas Mavericks at home.
You're smart
on this one.
I saw you look at the TV. I was like, there's no damn way in hell.
The Bucks have been, they're still obviously very good, but they've been a little strange this year with the teams.
They're tied 61 all with 2 minutes left in the second quarter.
They play with their food a little too much. Wow. And Dallas is no...
call somebody an adult.
I like the burn. Dallas is not a bad team, so they will put up a good fight.
Why does Dame look like he aged 12 years living in Milwaukee? Why does he look so much goddamn older right now in this Milwaukee jersey? He looks old as shit, doesn't he? That's what Milwaukee
like somebody's
do.
uncle.
God damn it. He looks like the uncle on food stamps that's coming over for Thanksgiving dinner and can eat all the fucking turkey.
Go ahead.
See, that's what happens when you don't make pot legal.
Yeah. Sure. I
Who's your pick in this game?
That was a curveball. What he just threw at me. I don't know how to respond to what Gary just said. G Money. I'm definitely taking Dallas. I'm seeing Milwaukee, in old ass Lillard over here, looking like he's 70 years old. He looks old as shit. He looks like Kyrie Irving, and all that makeup is like what, Uncle Drew?
Yeah, Uncle
is that
Drew.
what it was? He looks like Uncle Drew out there right now. It looks old as shit. It's actually unnerving a little bit. So I'm taking Dallas. I mean, Luca with his little chubby ass with a little pooch belly, probably hiding a six pack of beer in there. He just went off for 73 points with a belly.
Wild.
With a
Wild.
belly. I've never seen a more non-athletic man score 70 points in the NBA.
He was
than him.
unconscious.
When he was like flexing, I was like, there's way too much jiggle, man. There's way like Nutrisystem. I don't know. Something. Let's do something.
When-
73. That was crazy.
When he was just grabbing the ball, like as soon as he touched the ball, it was just three.
Yeah, just bam.
putting him up. As soon as it touched his hands, he's like, "Give me that." I was like, "This team is in for a ride." Right?
And who just had 70 points? Was it
Embiid? Yeah, just a few days before
so
that.
how do you show up in Embiid?
Right, the same
like
week.
a week, like, hey man, your flowers are already dead. I'm taking it all. Me and my non-athletic ass. Yeah, just I guess white people can still ball. It's great. I love Luca.
Showing that for sure.
He's wonderful.
Nestor.
No, I'm gonna take the Bucks. Even when Dallas wins, they win by like 2 or 3 points max. Even when Luca comes out
Look at him.
and does his very damn best,
65 years old.
they
Look
beat
at him.
a crap
free throw
team
line.
by like 2 or 3 points. They're very inconsistent. I'm gonna take Milwaukee because even if they decide to kind of show up, unlike this game, just a little bit, they're gonna win that game. So give me Milwaukee.
Like, but how does Portland score 65 points in the first half?
Yeah.
No defense.
Who's scoring those points?
No
And
defense.
so, like, what do you think Luca's going to do? Luca's going to score 80 and bow out like Kobe did.
If they do that, they might win by 2 points.
Yeah,
Probably.
but Dallas plays no defense either.
Right.
I mean, you've got two teams that play no defense.
Yep.
Keep it real. Who you taking?
So
here?
yeah,
It's a toss-up. Both these teams don't play defense well. Is Kyrie gonna play in this game, or is he still hurt?
I guess it's to be determined.
I forgot he
He's
was
got a
in
few
the league.
days.
That's the thing. If Kyrie's here, I was leaning more towards Dallas, because I mean, Luka can go for 70, and they could probably like win by 2 points or potentially lose this because nobody else is helping Luka out offensively.
Right.
And with Milwaukee, they can't stop a nosebleed either. But yeah, and I don't even know, because Dame this year on the Bucks, you don't even feel you can trust him half the time. Like,
Right.
there's just days where Dame actually starts to look like, okay, we understand why they got him. He's starting to look like Damian Lillard. And then there's just times where it's just 13 points and he just can't hit the side of a barn. He's missing all his threes. And it's both these teams, it feels like a toss-up here. I'm gonna go with Milwaukee. I hate it, but I'm gonna go with Milwaukee.
Okay.
If Kyrie was playing, I completely feel Dallas. But just I don't like Luka just being out there scoring 70 plus points and having to still do it all by himself, knowing that there's no one else giving him help there. At least you might get something from Dame, and if he gets something from Dame, that's all Giannis is gonna need, considering the fact that neither one of these teams play defense.
I forgot that Kyrie's flat earth and ass was even in the league. That's I forgot about that.
G Money, who are you taking here?
I'm taking Milwaukee. As I said, neither team plays defense. Milwaukee just hired Doc Rivers. I mean, he's been their coach now for what, 4 games? I don't know why they did that. I don't know why they hired Doc Rivers. They could have hired him beginning of the season, or before the season started, when they were out looking for a head coach. They could have hired him then. They didn't want to, and now they have to. And Jason Kidd, that man can't coach his way out of a wet paper sack. He is useless. You put him on a team that has great players, and he can't coach. He
can't
cannot
get mad at
coach.
me.
I mean, Dallas folded last year. They're going to fold this year. I don't care who they have on the team. He can't coach. And they're not going to win this game. Even if Kyrie, Flat Earth, Irving were to come back and play, they would still end up losing by probably 4 points.
You're damn right. No, you're not right.
All right. some division there. I like it.
I would just like to point out that what makes Doc Rivers a good coach?
Not much.
That Boston championship. That's the thing right there. The Boston championship.
The first big three.
That was like 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's done nothing
that's
since
the only
then.
thing.
Right.
No. Didn't do anything when he was with the Clippers when he had CP3 and
Blake Griffin.
Do you guys remember? Did you guys remember
Jordan.
David Platt?
The Lobster Clippers did nothing with them.
Who was 36-11? I think he did more in the NBA than Doc Rivers has since 2008.
That's a name I have not heard in a long time.
Yeah, but we keep hearing Doc Rivers' ass. Just
All right. Let's.
How many Hall of Famers does that man coach and not win a goddamn championship?
Way too many. Way too many.
Way too many. Adding a couple more to the resume, not going to win shit.
Let's
You
go.
start with the Magic days with T-Mac.
Yep.
damn right.
Let's go Sunday
T-Mac.
at 6 o'clock. We've got the I almost said Chargers. The Clippers going to the Heat. Heat finally got a win tonight. Finally got one.
Thankfully.
I'm taking the Clippers.
Thankfully. just
Clippers.
we have this.
Yeah, for those at home that don't know, Keeping It Real is also a Heat fan. So we,
Clippers.
of course, have two Heat fans on the show.
Clippers are going to win.
Mahlon is taking the Clippers. Nestor, tell us why your Heat are going to hold down their home court.
We're going to hold down the home court and lose because we're very inconsistent in the regular season. we go off in playoffs. I hope we do.
You go off in the playoffs.
But regular season, we're a little bit inconsistent. We're a little on a losing streak back there. We finally took a turn here, but the Clippers are pretty good this season. They're doing pretty good. So I'm going to give it to the Clippers in this one.
Who did the Heat just retire the jersey? At a Bayou? Is that who they did?
Haslam.
Oh, Haslam. It was Haslam.
Known as Haslam.
Yeah, that is the definition of participation trophy. Right there. You get this because you played for a long time.
Yeah, he played there forever.
What do we? Yeah. It's like.
And yet Carmelo's over here mad that his jersey never got retired in Denver.
Yeah, he's mad that the Joker's wearing his. But Haslam has his. But Haslam has his in the wrap.
Right.
That makes because your ass played for a long ass time. You get your jersey retired.
Keeping it real.
Heat culture.
You save us. Why is your Miami Heat gonna win this game?
Well, for one, we're not going to win this game.
Damn.
I don't know where there's going to be a save from. We are a very inconsistent
we have two
regular
Heat
season
fans
team.
on the show.
Because we know our team. Eric Spoelstra seems to use the regular season to try to figure out what he's going to get from these guys.
I love it.
You know, left and right, guys are going to be hurt and not in the lineup. Jimmy Butler, half the time, is not really going to show up unless it's a big game. Like, if he's going against the Celtics, he might show up. But a regular night against the Brooklyn Nets, he's not going to do anything there. So we know that the regular season, Miami has just gotten to this point where they use the regular season as preparation for the postseason. They don't care if they're getting in as an 8 seed. They don't really care what seed they're going to get into. They use this as preparation, but more so to see what their players are made of. And Spoelstra uses this time to figure out matchups. We've had Jovic out there in some games just to see what he can bring to the table. We've mixed and matched several different lineups. So many people have been in and out of the starting lineup for a specific reason. Meanwhile, the Clippers have not only stayed healthy, which again is the biggest key factor if they're actually going to go on a championship run. They've stayed healthy, and they've figured this out. Since Russ has gone to the bench, they've been one of the best teams at basketball. They've played well. They've had a great balance. I don't see how Miami wins this game unless it's one of the rare times they feel the need to actually show up and play like a team that's supposed to be contending. But I don't expect that to happen here, so I think the Clippers are going to handle the job.
Hey, where is the NBA All-Star game this year?
Indianapolis.
Okay, so I think that Kyrie Irving and Jimmy Butler should go in together for an Airbnb so that they can be around the festivities. Because they're already treated as retired players in the NBA.
Pretty much.
You got to save that money. And it's in Indianapolis. How is the Super Bowl in Las Vegas and the NBA is like, Indy, baby?
Right.
Ursay going to be doing some crack off a stripper's ass.
I think it's fitting.
I forget the exact politics behind it, but it has something to do with like the city's tax money or something like that. So that's why these like smaller, like Charlotte, Indianapolis, Cleveland, like these really rinky-dink cities get it because it has something to do with taxes. But anyway,
you have a bunch of people that are going to vote for Trump, welcoming in a league that's 99% black. That's what we're doing. Bypass all the cornfields.
Right.
That's what we're doing, right? The NBA is going to take tax breaks from people that are going to vote for Trump.
Tax havens.
So,
that's why the next Super Bowl is going
fuck
to be in
the
the Cayman
ethanol.
Islands.
That's what we're doing. The NBA wants to save money.
G Money, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, give me the Clippers. I mean, basically, everybody has said exactly why you should take the Clippers. They are playing well. They figured it out. And Miami really doesn't start turning it on until like 2 weeks left in the season when they realize they have to be like the play-in seed.
Yeah.
And you know, and Miami's one of those teams that you look at and you go, yeah, it's Jimmy Butler and a bunch of nobodies, or if he's not playing, it's just a bunch of people you've never heard of before unless you're a Miami fan.
Except Tyler Hero. That's your guy, Nestor. I got you.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that if you ask a lot of NBA fans, you know, name me 3 Miami Heat players, they'd be stuck after Jimmy Butler. They couldn't figure out Tyler Hero.
I can
they
name
probably would
Haslam.
think that he's no longer playing anymore.
I think Haslam's still playing, actually.
Somewhere.
No,
maybe he's in Taiwan with
that's
Dwight
Dwight
Howard.
Howard. Dwight Howard out there. I'm going to play for the Taiwanese. I was like, okay, well, I guess that's as close to America as you can get.
Right.
Since we fund them militarily. That's fine.
I'm going to also take the Clippers here, of course. But Heat fans, you guys, can you guys remind me who is the wing player you had last year? Not Max Strus, but the guy who went to the Lakers.
Oh.
3-point shooter.
Gabe Vincent.
Gabe Vincent.
Oh,
he is
that's
robbing.
a real Heat fan. You're a bitch.
Max Strus is doing his thing in Cleveland. He's doing his thing. But Gabe Vincent needs to be sued for every last penny that he's taken from the Los Angeles Lakers because he's
it's the same situation as the Kendrick Nunn situation when they took Nunn.
Yes.
So, I mean, they literally didn't learn their lesson.
I mean,
we're infamous for doing this
if
shit.
we're going to talk about Gabe Vincent and other people, like, why is Haslam up there in the rafters? Like, what did he do? He suited up for 15 years.
It's the coaching.
And got his number retired.
It's the culture, man.
Yeah, Heat culture. This man just didn't lose his job, so he got his number retired. God damn it.
All right, let's go to the next game. We have Sacramento at Cleveland on Monday night.
It's all you.
We're going to start with Nestor here. Who you got?
He's got to look it up.
It's a real barn burner, but
yeah, it's huge.
I'm gonna go with
Sacramento and Cleveland
because Cleveland, just more consistent team, and they got Donovan Mitchell. So yeah,
this is true. Keeping it real.
Man, I forgot Donovan Mitchell was in the league too.
Oh, Lord,
so many people.
I don't really like the shooting situation. I mean, Matt Strus has been great, but offensively, there's a lot of inconsistencies with Cleveland. Sacramento isn't anything special, at least right now. It feels like this will probably be a more closer game. I'm probably going to lean more towards Sacramento here. It's just I don't like some of the things I just see with the Cleveland offense. And there's just days where Donovan Mitchell just forgets that he's supposed to be a scorer and just like all of a sudden can't seem to score the basketball. Like he just can't hit anything. He's wide open for shots at times and he's just missing. And then you'll just get days where Strus has always been like this. There'll be days where he can hit you 5 threes, and there'll be days where he just goes 0 of 7, and everyone's like, bro, you were wide open for 5 of those shots. So it's up and down with Cleveland's offense. Sacramento, I'm not going to say I completely trust in Fox more than Donovan Mitchell, but I just like the Kings a little bit better in this matchup.
Be a part of the show.
Gotcha. G Money.
I like Cleveland. This will be the last game in a 7-game road trip for
Sacramento.
For Sacramento, yeah. I was looking at Golden State when I was watching something over there. But for Sacramento. So I mean, usually that last game, you're pretty spent. And they've pretty much traversed. They went from Golden State to Dallas to Memphis to Miami where they just lost. Going to Indy, then Chicago, then Cleveland. I'm like, son of a bitch. At some point, you forget what city you're in. You step out on the court, you're looking around, going like, "This is Monday. We must be in Cleveland, I guess."
Bunch of bad cities too.
Yeah,
not a lot of good places.
I mean, So. And I still like Cleveland.
Okay. Win 11 last 12. Okay.
I'm going to take the Cavs at home here. With Sacramento being on this long road trip, like you said, G-Money, when you're on that last leg, not very good. Cleveland, they're a very good team this season. And I'm thinking that Donovan Mitchell's going to have a better game at home. At least I'm hoping he will. Not a poor shooting night. But the Kings are struggling to beat good teams this year. They're not the same team that they were last year where they were just this hot upper echelon team in the West. They're at the bottom now in the playoff race. So not too sure what's going on over there. But when it comes to them beating teams that are over 500, like playoff teams, they have not been very good. So I'm going to take Cleveland here. Go ahead, Mahlon.
I got a little bit of conundrum here because I've heard everything that everybody said. Personally, I want to go with a team that calls themselves Sacktown. That just sounds fun. It's great. But you just saw on the ticker right there that, Donovan Mitchell scored 45 points and the Cleveland won their 11th out of 12th game. So they're like, wow, they're on fire. And then you look up that they beat the 6-41 Pistons.
They did
by 7 points.
Well,
with Donovan Mitchell scoring 45.
Right.
That takes a little bit of the shine off of that W. The 6-41. How is that not? How do we not have relegation? There should be a squad from the ABA from back in the 70s with a bunch of 80-year-old players we could pull up into the NBA while the Detroit Pistons are going 6-41 right now. Like, that is ridiculous. So I was all excited. I was like, well, damn, that kind of sells it for me. The man just went off for 45 points. They won 11 out of 12. You beat Detroit. Kind of sounds like everybody's beating Detroit.
Yes.
Outside of the Niners and the water and the car manufacturing, everybody's beating Detroit. So I'm taking Sacktown to win this game. Yeah. I don't like Cleveland either.
Okay.
You used to have a team called the Cleveland Indians and you started to call yourself the Cleveland Guardians. That makes you a bitch. So
go ahead, Nestor.
Didn't he already go?
Yeah, I took Cleveland.
Yeah, he already went.
We're back at the front. Okay.
I was the last on that one.
All right.
I apologize.
All right, last game. We've got the Warriors at the Nets Monday night at 7:30. Let's go with.
Look at him.
Oh,
hit it.
Okay.
God damn.
We're gonna go with keeping it real to start here.
Uncle Drew hit it.
Who do you like in this one?
What am I supposed to do with this matchup?
It's terrible.
Both these teams are just terrible.
God awful.
Like, what am I supposed to?
This is what I say to
Nobody on
Jalen every
Brooklyn
week.
makes me have anything that I
He
would
has
even
one of
remotely
these
trust.
games.
A bunch of young guys there. Golden State, you would at least feel like Steph would show up, but who's gonna come with them? You know, Clay ain't gonna do anything half the time. Draymond, you don't know what Draymond gonna be doing on the court.
He may not be out there.
Just last game, he got himself two fouls within the first minute of the game. I mean, I don't know what to do with this matchup. Wiggins is there
Wiggins.
sometimes,
He's in the league
and not. He's there to suit up. He's there to suit up.
A warm body.
Kuminga's been solid, and it seems like he's kind of been the number 2 for Steph right now. I don't know what to do with this matchup. The only thing I can do is hope Curry could be the difference maker. I'm gonna go with the Warriors, I guess. There's nothing. Both these teams aren't playing good basketball right now, so I'm not exactly sure what matchup to pick here. I'll take the Warriors though.
I don't even know what to say either, but I just saw Brook Lopez shoot a 3-point
He was like, money.
shot,
And then he just.
and he missed it so bad. He barely hit the backboard, the bottom of the backboard. That was don't do it. Lopez.
I'll do it again. All
Leave
right.
it alone, man.
G Money, what do you like here?
Yeah, I don't like anything. I mean, only matchup I could think would be worse than this would be San Antonio, Detroit.
Damn.
But
shit.
Give me Golden State because I don't like Brooklyn, and I really don't think until they figure out who they are going to be that they're going to be anything.
Okay, that was well said. I'm gonna agree. Yeah, these are two pretty bad teams right now.
Why did you even pick this game?
We got to throw in one of these just kind of random
Really?
bad games.
You got to make us pay attention to the poor people.
Exactly,
Yes.
that's the idea. Yeah, I'm gonna take the Warriors on the road here. Brooklyn is
We're all Democrats.
really not great. So yeah, give me the Warriors. Maley, go ahead.
Just. It's not. I don't like you for this. This is just bad. Like the only thing that could make this matchup worse is if the NBA brought back the short sleeve T-shirt jerseys, and I had to watch this terrible fucking matchup with people wearing T-shirts. But I'm gonna go ahead and take Golden State, just because I think Steph Curry is still one of the best in the league. Draymond Green needs to retire.
Yeah.
He's pretending like it's 1988 and he's Bill Laimbeer and he doesn't have the talent that Bill Laimbeer had in 1988, which is sad. He's out there acting like he has the talent that he had back when he was playing for Michigan State.
Yes.
Clay Thompson, he's a Washington State Cougar. He can go fuck himself, go fall down an escalator. So I'm going to go ahead and take Golden State with Stephon Curry, even though I just shit on everybody else on the team. I don't even like Wiggins. I forgot Wiggins was still in the league, too.
Yeah, he's still out there.
There's a few people out there. Butler, Wiggins, and Kyrie. Go get an Airbnb and go fuck yourselves. That'll be fun.
Nestor.
I like it.
No, I think it's pretty easy for me.
Who are you texting? We're doing a show.
I would say
Live.
It was an emergency. I would say
No, it wasn't.
I was telling somebody about my bladder. I'm gonna go with the Warriors.
Get away from me.
Because why? I don't know. But the Nets are just terrible. They're trash. And as we all know, other seasons before we've seen it where the Warriors just wake up at certain times of the season, and they're kind of going to be there towards the postseason. So give me the Warriors. Steph could just go off for no reason. So yeah.
Keep it real. Bring us home.
That's the worst advertising I've ever
Oh, wait, I'm
seen
sorry.
in my life.
We all
pretty bad.
We all picked.
Who would drink Guinness non-alcoholic beer? What would the purpose of that be? Why?
Let me recap our picks.
Why is that even a thing?
All right, so starting from the top, let me just make sure I got this all right. So we all took the Knicks to beat the Lakers. Yes. Myself and Mahlon took the Mavs to win. The rest of you guys took the Bucks to win. Good. Okay. He want to say the Chargers. That we all take the Clippers to win at Miami. There's no second guessing that one. The Kings and the Cavs. Mahlon, keeping it real, took Sacktown. The rest of us took Cleveland.
This is where I take a game.
All right.
Get closer.
And then we all took the Warriors on Monday night.
God, I'm only going to make up one game this week. Damn it.
Or you could just, never mind.
Okay, Nestor. Don't you got to go pee in the toilet somewhere?
All right. That'll do it for this week's show. Anything else you guys want to mention before we get up out of here?
Just want to say it's already written in the script that the Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl. I'm just saying.
We're giving picks next week, sir.
I just want to say.
Well, he
doesn't
get to change his mind.
No, I'm not changing my
That
mind.
is-
I already know what's going to happen.
We don't even have to ask him. For
is
next
even a
week. He's
question.
already picked the Chiefs.
Why are we
I
wondering
don't
about
care if Patrick Mahomes
It's Taylor
breaks his
Swift.
knee.
You're going to deny Taylor
during
Swift the Super Bowl?
practice. This man has picked the Chiefs. Why are you jumping the gun like this?
He couldn't wait.
This
He
is
couldn't
what
sleep
people
last
from
night.
Sarasota do.
I'm telling you.
Your girl got you all
I'm telling
wound
you.
up.
They're winning it.
Okay. This guy. What are we?
Keeping it real. Thank you again for joining us for this memorable episode here.
No problem.
Again, folks, if you want to subscribe to his channel on YouTube, which I don't see why you wouldn't, it is linked down in the description below. So be sure to go to his channel, like all his videos, subscribe, and be on the lookout for future videos. So
Thank you for your defensive coordinator. I appreciate it.
You're not welcome for that. Give him back.
Love it.
G Money, thank you again for joining us for yet another week. We will see you in person next week.
Damn right.
Yep.
So
Bringing bourbon too. God, we're gonna have to Uber.
we'll talk to you all next week.
I'm going to need my license.
Have a good one, folks. Super Bowl episode next week. Yeah, we'll see you. Peace.
There you go.